Welcome back to the channel. I'm Brian from Apex Auction Car Reconditioning. In a previous video, we polished the passenger side of the Honda Odyssey here, and I believe we used the Sonax OS0602, which was a one-step and a polymer sealant. And I think it has ceramic in it too. And I promised on the other side I would use a different one-step to compare, because I have quite a few. And I asked which one you wanted to see. It was overwhelming. So we are today going to use the Koch Chemie P301 Micro Cut and Finish. So this is a polishing one step or a little bit weaker in between finishing and one step. And it has some carnauba in it, maybe some polymer sealant. I'm not sure exactly what it has in, but there's some protection. Not quite as prominent as the P0602, but we still want to see what this can do. I don't believe I've had this in a dedicated video yet, so I'm anxious to see what it can do, and we'll compare it to the other side. Let's get started. All right, so this is where we stand on the Honda Odyssey. You can see the definitive line and a huge difference that the Sonax made. So on this side, we'll put the tape line right down through here again, and we'll see, can we match it? Can we do better than this side, or do we fall just short on this side? And we did this whole area all the way back through. Looks fantastic. You can see the swirls and the overall dullness, oxidation, stains, etching, and that goes all the way through the driver's side, all the way back through. And what we'll use today is the requested Koch Chemie P301, which is a micro cut and finish. Micro polishing compound with carnauba is how it's described. Everything back here is in German, but it does say micro polishing compound for the permanent removal of holograms, fine scratches, and sand marks up to P3000 grain size, and a long-term sealing, high degree of gloss, smoothness. Contains carnauba wax and non-fugitive silicones. Let's see what it can do. I'm going to team this up with dual action polisher, and yet again, one of my favorites, the Eurofiber 50/50 pad. I'm sure this has a nice long open time or cycle time. Most of the Koch Chemie products do, polishes. But we'll just do a crisscross pattern. Very similar to all of the other all-in-ones that we use. We don't want to break down the protection that's within the formula. So personally, I don't do more than a crisscross pattern. And then I'll wipe off the residue, and if I need to go further, then I'll just do another crisscross pattern. Anything more, I believe, just wears down the protection that's within the formula of these all-in-ones. I hope that makes sense. All right, let's do a section here, see what it looks like right off the bat. Polishers around the 4th speed setting. I usually go between the 3rd and 4th speed setting, but the battery's starting to die as usual. Correction speed, moving the polisher an inch every second or two. Not a ton of pressure. No need to build up heat on the panel. No dusting whatsoever with this formula, and as I mentioned earlier, a really nice opener cycle time, which means if this was just a regular polish with no protection, you could do as many passes as you'd want to. Are we going to be able to get this section done without the battery dying? I don't know. It sounds like it's petering out on me. Ooh boy. Yep, that's ready to be changed out. Okay, so being this is a micro cut, I don't expect it to remove quite as much damage or imperfections as this side did. Maybe it'll overperform, I don't know. My expectations, have it doing just a little bit less than on this side, but let's wipe off the residue here and take a look. See what we got here. Not hard to wipe off. Not bad at all. All right, and then taking a look at it, not bad at all. All right, so on this section we got all those swirls and just dullness, and that's what it was able to do. This side, that side. So pretty good. Let me finish up this hood completely, remove the tape, and then we can compare just a little bit better. All right, let me remove the tape. Then we can compare the two sides. Is there a difference? All right, so there is a line going. You can see the line there, I believe. I think this side looks a little, so this is what I'm seeing. This side looks like a richer, deeper, wetter color, but it wasn't able to get some of these scratch marks out, all of these, where on this side, it pretty much did. So with a comparison, I would say this looks like a crisper reflection, a nice deep wet look. This is very close, but it just didn't have the cutting power that that had. So that's your give and take between, I mean, you can see the definitive line going up through there. To me, that side looks better. Let me know down in the comments section what you see, what you think. All right, well, either way, I mean, look at the hood. Excellent, looks excellent. So we're going to continue all the way back through here and see what this whole side looks like, and then the van's done, and we'll look incredible using two different products. By the way, with most all-in-ones, if you're using a microfiber or a foam pad, or even a wool pad for whatever reason, you do need to clean it at least after every panel so those fibers can stay effective, because they get matted really quick with an all-in-one. That's just the way it is. So forced air or your pad washer, like we have one right there, would work perfectly fine. Now we'll wipe off the residue. Now something, and I believe I showed you this with the other all-in-ones, something I like to do is, before I move on to the next panel, I like to get more of that protection on there. Maximum protection that it has to offer anyway. So I'll just use a microfiber applicator, like the one block I have in my hand here. It doesn't have to be this one, but something similar. And I'll just nice and evenly spread out this product on the panel. Let it slightly haze over, and then wipe it off, and we move back to the next panel and keep going back through this vehicle here. Something this size, the whole thing shouldn't take you longer than an hour, 30, 40 minutes. Ooh, that looks good. That looks really, really good. Huge difference now between the fender and the door. Let me grab you guys off the pedestal so you can see what I'm looking at. That fender is dripping wet. And look at the difference between the fender now and the door. Huge difference. And let me know if you could see that down in the comment section. Look at that. That looks incredible. And then we also want to have something visible that we can see that there's protection there. So there's a door with no protection. And then there's the fender. Nice. All right, I'm going to dry this back off, continue back throughout the driver's side of this van. All right, let's wipe off the little bit of residue that's left behind here. I guess that's some sort of wax, maybe a T1 carnauba, hopefully. Hopefully it's a nice, good quality carnauba, if that's what they use, and whatever else they have in here. I don't expect that protection to last longer than a couple weeks, but I do think it looks good. Let me grab you guys off the stand there. So again, you can see that definitive line. And we got this side. Look at that gorgeous metallic pewter coming through now. I think it looks great. Let me know what you think and what you could see through the camera. And I'll let you know just in a few seconds here which side I like better. Very nice. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this video. I'm going to let you know I like the driver's side better. I'm not quite worried that we didn't cut quite as deep going after all of those scratches because we did a better job making it a clear, glossy, just deep, wet look to it, which sometimes takes your attention away from those scratches to begin with. And I'd rather have more clear coat because this is a minivan. And, you know, I don't know how long I'm going to have it, but if it gets sold, it's going to go through car washes again. It's going to get swirls back on it. And there's plenty of clear coat then to remove those scratches and swirls in the future. This is soft, thin clear coat on Honda. We need to take that into consideration, but let me know down in the comment section which side you like better. And I'll try and put a link down below. I'll try to remember to get one down below for the Koch Chemie P301 so you can look into it further if you want to. This has been Brian from Apex Auction Car Reconditioning. I'll catch you in the next video.